Greetings, beloved Princeton United Methodist Church community. It's Pastor Jenny here with an update for you. And I'm going to read from John chapter 21, verse 17. Jesus said to Peter the third time, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter felt hurt because he said to him the third time, "Do you love me?" And he said to him, "Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you." Jesus said to him, "Feed my sheep." This is the word of life. Thanks be to God. I love bridges. I don't know a lot about building those bridges. I vaguely remember some of the physics and math behind all that, but I don't love bridges because I know all the things about them. I don't know the names of a lot of bridges. I'm not that kind of bridge enthusiast, but I love looking at bridges. I think they're kind of miraculous. I have lots of pictures of bridges that I have taken over the years, just sitting and looking at bridges and watching what happens on them and under them and how they're constructed, and they're just beautiful. But even more, I think that bridges are miraculous because of what they do for us. Bridges connect two places that either weren't connected before or weren't easily connected before. They create these passageways that connect people and places that weren't connected previously or easily before. They let us get to places that we couldn't go, and they let us get home, presumably, as well. So I love bridges, and I think that they're good for us to think about when it comes to the church as well. And I don't know that we always have taken passages like the one that I just read, and the rest of it, you can read the rest of chapter 21 yourself, and we'll read more of it on Sunday too. But when we read passages like this, if we're thinking about bridges at all, we are probably thinking about them kind of in a one-directional sort of way. What I mean is that we tend to hear Jesus say, "Go and feed my sheep," or "tend my lambs," and we think, okay, we have Jesus. We've been with Jesus. We know Jesus. We have this relationship with Jesus. And we're going to take Jesus with us and offer Jesus and all this love and all this good and all this beauty that we have found to those who don't yet have it, who are on the other side of that bridge. And probably, we're also, somewhere in our thinking, is the idea that we will then bring those people that we have given Jesus to and that we have offered this love to, and we will bring them back across the bridge to be with us here in the church, in this place. Now, that's not all wrong, right? There's a lot of good in that, and there are lots of nuances we can come up with about how there are important things about that and good. But you can also hear in that it's pretty hierarchical, pretty patriarchal, pretty us and them. There's that bridge isn't just a bridge, it's kind of a wall that we open. It's more like a gate that we open up and move through while leaving this sort of barrier between us rather than this free-flowing thing that happens. It's also not kind of a two-way bridge when we think about it that way. I think it's interesting that in the last part of this chapter 21, twice, once to Peter, and then once to John, Jesus says, "Follow me." I think that part of the tension when we tend to think about our role in the church, our job as Christians, who we are to the world, is that we tend to think that maybe Jesus is kind of with us and not somewhere else, not asking us to continue to follow him, or when we follow him into a certain type of thing, a certain way of being, which is true. But I also think, I wonder what happens when we think about Jesus saying, "Follow me across this bridge." I'm already there across the bridge with the people who are over there, who may not be church people the same way you're church people, or may not be fill in the blank kind of people like you are, but I'm already there. Follow me there and discover me anew in these places. Discover what I am like through the eyes and the lives and the experiences of the people and the places we find on the other side of these bridges. And don't like bring everybody back, but let this be a free-flowing kind of two-way bridge, something that really truly connects us, where we can see that Jesus is at work in all places, on each side of the bridge, even on the bridge, and moving back and forth and seeing things in a different way. See, this is more egalitarian and more, I think, what Jesus was trying to do. We can hear some of the vestiges of that other version, the first version I named, in our colonialism, in our missionary history, where there was this kind of, this way that we kind of push Jesus across bridges in ways that just don't think were necessary, and I don't think is the way that Jesus is inviting us now to do it. So we're going to talk more about these bridges and about what this might look like on Sunday and over the next few weeks. And so I invite you to just play with this image of bridge. And how has the church done really great with bridges? And how have you experienced these this movement from one place to another, with Jesus, following Jesus, bringing Jesus, sending Jesus, all these kinds of ideas across these bridges? How have you experienced that, for good, for ill? What do you think about this image? Can you just play with this image? Maybe you want to just meditate on it. Just bring a bridge to mind in your quiet moments and sit with it and ask Jesus to show you what Jesus wants to show you about a bridge, about bridges, about the church and bridges, and see what comes, and just allow this to be part of your meditative journey over these next few weeks. We're going to keep exploring what this means to us to build bridges as a church into our community, our communities. We don't all live in the same community, I know, and to see how Jesus is inviting us to follow and to discover Jesus when we do that in new ways, in new places, with new people. And I think it just brings all of us to a fullness of life when we are able to do this. And that is what I believe Jesus wants for all of us, is the fullness of life, that shalom, that abundance, that freedom, that depth of experience that Jesus offers to all of us and invites along the way. So I invite you to do that, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday and beyond, and in whatever ways it is right for you, whether you're in person, whether you're online. It is Communion Sunday this week, and we'll be including even more than usual our children in worship, and inviting us to do a little movement and sharing in a liturgy for all people this Sunday. Blessings to you all. Remember that you are enough because God is enough, and it is always a pleasure, a privilege for me to be on this journey with you.